Morning. It's a beautiful 67 degrees here in Florida. And let's start this morning. Got my cup of coffee here, and I'm ready to go to my favorite spot and start the day. Still amazes me the beautiful flowers that you see during winter in Florida. And how can you go wrong with this view? So this is the little area I like to come to of a morning. Oklahoma sunrises are beautiful, but there's something about the cotton candy sunrises of Florida. Sometimes the sky just looks like a big old ball of cotton candy. Now this place is empty this morning. Most people are getting ready for work. And so I get to enjoy it to myself. And one day I will be in that crew of getting ready for work. But not today. We're still waiting on our pod to get here from Oklahoma. So we've been living with the bare necessities, which I've discovered it's not that hard to do. I brought a cast iron skillet, a small one, a regular skillet, and a pot. And so I've found out that you can survive if you have to on whatever is in your hand if you want to survive. No TV, no beds. Yes, I had to go and buy more air mattresses again because the ones I just bought when we were moving to sleep on while our pod was packed up, I left in Jerry's car in Oklahoma because we haven't brought his car down here yet. So I had to go and buy another air mattress. I'm going to have air mattresses everywhere after I've donated 3 or 4 to the women's shelter. The things you learn while moving. So let's see. What are some of the things I have learned on this Florida adventure? Well, one being the cost of living is really so much higher than Oklahoma. Our car insurance is going to be double what it is back in Oklahoma. Rent here is very high. Groceries, if you shop at Publix, everyone here brags about Publix, but if you shop at Publix, it's like $3 higher an item than back home. It's not back home anymore, but back in Oklahoma. So sticker shock has been kind of a surprise. It's been kind of mind-blowing in a way. Because when you're used to paying a certain price for most of your life, I mean, even when prices raised back home, it was like maybe a quarter, 50 cents. But here, when it's double, You're like shaking your head. Why? So that's been one of the things that has been quite a shock for us in our transition from Oklahoma to Florida. Another is that I'm basically a small town rural girl. I did work in Tulsa for a while, which was about a 30-minute drive for me. And so while working in Tulsa, I did have some city life, but I could escape the city and come back to the country. And so even the last 4 years, I've worked in a small town not far from where I lived. And just something about living in a small town, you don't have to think to drive. I mean, you know your route. You've been there for so long. Here, you always have to stay on your toes while driving. You have to pay attention. You have to not only pay attention to what you're doing, you have to watch these other drivers. I have learned that these Florida drivers, well, they have Florida tags, so I don't know whether to call them true Florida drivers or if it's snowbirds or what it is, but people drive crazy here. You don't really pay attention to the speed limit signs because you will get run over. And that's another thing. As a pedestrian, it's crazy here. People don't care if you're walking. It's who's going to survive. It's like playing chicken. So you have to watch. You can't be looking at your phone and texting and walking because somebody will run right over the top of you. There was a sad story yesterday where a guy swerved to miss a dog and ran over a teenager on a scooter, which is very popular here. So that turned out to be a very sad and tragic situation. So that's just some of the things, just the driving element. Now, people complain about the I-4 traffic and how long it takes you to get to places. For us, because we lived in rural Oklahoma, anywhere we went took a long time. So we don't mind the sitting in traffic and the waiting and the time that it takes. I think like for 12 miles yesterday, it took me 35 minutes to drive 12 miles. So yeah, that's kind of different too, but it's not a big deal to us as of yet. Now, where we presently live, we are like 8 miles to Magic Kingdom, 3 or 4 to Epcot and Hollywood Studios, and about the same almost to Animal Kingdom. So we're in a pretty good location to Jerry's job and such. So anyway, that's just some of the things that I have learned while living here in Florida. And how many days has it been actually? So we have lived here 23 days today. We've only been in our apartment for a week and a day. We stayed in an Airbnb for a while. And it was nice to be in an Airbnb to get kind of settled in. I mean, it's been crazy. Any type of a big move like this is just crazy. It's almost more than you could ever think. You think you're ready, you think you're prepared, but no, you're not. It's going to be wild and it's going to be crazy if you venture a big move across several states. So what do I really love about Florida? It's this: palm trees and nice weather. Back in Oklahoma, they've had ice, they've had snow, they've had really freezing temperatures. We escaped just in time. I love the beautiful palm trees and the fact that, here everything is developed differently. Like your Walmarts match the scenery of the area that you're living in. So if there's a certain building style, all these buildings look and match the scenery. Kind of like when you go to Sedona, Arizona, and all the buildings have that southwest look. Here, if you're in an area, especially where we're living now, The buildings all kind of match. You do not have the billboards. You do not have, one thing I notice is that like your Arby's and your Wendy's and your McDonald's, they do not have the tall pole signs. Their signs are low down to the ground where it's not obstructing the scenery. And so that gives for a much cleaner look. So the area that we're in has a very clean look. Now we are close to Disney World, so we hit Disney property pretty quick. And as you know, Disney property is always known for their excellence, their beauty, their upkeep. So that kind of gets a little spoiling because you're just constantly seeing beauty and excellence. So I have touched on before what brought us to Florida, and that is the fact that my husband is now a cast member for Walt Disney World. I know which park he will be working in, but I'm not going to say here for our privacy, but he is a cast member, and he started his job. When did he start? Saturday, I believe. And so, yes, I will be going to the Disney parks as often as I can. Am I going to become a Disney live streamer? No, probably not. There's enough of those. I may do some Disney vlogs to help educate people that are coming to Disney for the first time. You know, I used to be a Disney travel agent right before COVID hit and really disturbed the travel industry. So I will be in the parks and you will see some Disney videos. So it's kind of crazy. Feels like I'm in a dream these past, 23 days? Waking up in a different state, in a different environment, trying to get my bearings on, is this really happening or am I in a dream? And I guess it's finally hitting me that no, it's not a dream. This is my life now. No going back. Can't look back. I know there was a song I used to hear. You can't go forward if you keep looking back. And this is about going forward. My husband and I, we are getting older. And, you know, even at that, my aunt, who is going to be 73 in February, for her to come with us, to take on this adventure, and to make this move with us, kudos to her. It's a big deal. It's a big life change for her. You know, my aunt has lived alone for the last 20 years. And now she lives with us right now in a 3-bedroom apartment with her little dog and a cat, and then my cat. So it's been a big lifestyle change for all of us. But you know, I don't regret a moment. It has been fun to get to be with my aunt on a daily basis, to share and do life with her. And of course, as we're here longer, we will take time to eventually go and look at houses to purchase, probably bigger places. But right now, it works. And you know, I've always said I'm about the moments that make memories. and we are making a bunch of memories together right now. We're taking these moments, some good, some not so good. It's been a roller coaster of emotions, ups and downs. But hey, we're together and we're in Florida. And I can toast to that. Remember, you have but this one life to live. So go out and capture your moments while you still have time.